So, all right, guys, we got to get this one right. On three, we're going to say, welcome back to Extraordinary Thoughts for on their mind. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to our mind.
And we back.
That'll work right there.
Yeah.
And we back. And we
Yeah.
back. And we back. And we
We did our
back. And we
Y'all did y'all best.
Thank
And that's all that
and
matters.
we
Yo, I don't know what it is, man, but I'm in a good mood. What's going on, everybody? It's that Ordinary Podcast with the Extraordinary Thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm your host, Demetrius Thickman, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of Extraordinary Thoughts for the Ordinary Mind. All right, so a couple of things I just want to I guess address before we get started with today's episode. First things first. Bro, if you are listening to this, I had so much going on in my mind that I couldn't even recognize you. You see what I'm saying? Like, I was just so focused on one particular thing at that exact moment that I didn't even recognize that I had saw you. So if you listening to this, yes, I know who you are. Yes, my bad, bro. Like, I did not mean to just say, like, I didn't know who you are. I humbly apologize for that because I did know who you were. It didn't hit me until I got in the car. You know what I mean? Like, and then it like, boom, like I was like, oh my God, like I know the dog. So tap in with me, man, so we can just link up, get a drink or whatever it is. Also, I just want to just say thank you to everyone that shared their love story with me. Now, if you're not following me on Instagram, which I'm pretty sure you are if you listen to this podcast, but if you're not following me on Instagram, head over to Instagram at Meech Speaks. Once again, that's Meech Speaks. Meech is spelled Meech. I put up, well, let's just give a backstory. So the month of February, as we all know, is Valentine's Day. And throughout that entire month, all Hallmark's going to talk about is just love. You go to Walmart, you go to any fucking store, and it's just going to have love. And I was sitting back and I was just, the theme is reflection, is it not? Why not reflect on love, heartbreak, and all the shit in between it? So if you haven't already, head over to Instagram and share your love story with me. Even if it's not on my story anymore, feel free to drop me a DM and share your love story. I have got a chance to read so many and listen to so many stories, and I think they're just so beautiful. I think they are so powerful. I appreciate the growth. Let me rephrase. I appreciate you allowing me to peek into a window of your soul. Oh my God, they were beautiful. I look forward to sharing different aspects of love from my viewpoint. I look forward to sharing my different types of heartbreak. I look forward to just sharing me with you. Also, I have a couple of surprise guests throughout this month. They're going to come on. They're going to talk about love. This is going to be a real lovey-dovey like season. You feel me? So bear with me with that. Now, damn, I'm really in a good mood. Like, I can hear it in my voice. Like, where's all this chip coming from? But I do want to address something. And the one thing that I do want to address is that Valentine's Day is always a rough time for a lot of people. And I get it. Everybody else is, just all into their insignificant other, and, everybody's proposing or, just like loving each other. And I don't know who need to hear this, but look. If that man gets you flowers, takes you to some fucking hotel, buys you all these things, X, Y, and Z, and the only thing that you about to bring is some fucking pussy, come on. But at the same time, let me switch gears real quick. Why the fuck are you waiting 364 days out of the year to get some fucking flowers from him? I really wanted to just say something real quick. Even if you don't got anybody on this day, why the fuck are you waiting for somebody else to buy you flowers? Why the fuck are you waiting for somebody else to tell you how they just don't want to spend life without you? They can't see their life without you. They want to spend the rest. Why are you waiting for that? Why are you worried about that? When's the last time you loved yourself? When's the last time you bought yourself flowers? Yeah, I get it. You know, it always feels good when somebody else does it. And it's probably one of your love languages. I get it. But sometimes you got to be your own Valentine. Sometimes you got to love yourself. Sometimes you got to be your own biggest admirer. And I say that because, you know, once again, this being the theme of reflection, this is a season of reflection. I went back into my old catalog and I did an episode on power. And I talked about how we demand power, we command power, we want power. But we so quick to allow things and people to have power over ourselves. And with this being the last episode for the month of January, I really just want to just affirm you, empower you, love on you. Nah, I'm playing. I just really want to remind you who the fuck you are. And with that, I read another article. I've been reading a lot of fucking articles. Like, I'm not even about to lie to you. I have been reading a lot of articles lately. And I don't know. I've just been allowing my mind to just roam a little bit. And this one stood out a little bit more to me. And it was about what people think of you. And I don't know if you're like me. I don't know who needs to really hear this, but actually me, I probably need to hear this, but I actually do struggle with that. You know what I mean? Like, it bothers me what other people think of me. It does. You know, I may have this hard exterior of I don't give a fuck, you know, all I care about is me. But sometimes it does bother me. You see what I'm saying? Add in the fact that I have social fucking anxiety. Yes, I do. You know, and I get nervous around people. I sometimes I don't even like fucking talking. Like, I can sit in a whole room by myself and not say anything. I'm also like, if you haven't heard the episode Overthinking, like, you say the wrong thing to me and you're about to give me a fucking anxiety attack because I don't know what you're thinking. And I say that because it can actually be crippling. You know, imagine going through life, you the main character, but you worried about what the fucking goddamn second characters are thinking. The supporting cast is thinking of you. And I bring that up because when you're so worried about everything else, let me rephrase, everyone else, your focus isn't on you. And when your focus isn't on you, you're not performing at the levels that you know you're supposed to be performing at. Let me rephrase. You're not performing at the levels that you are capable of performing at. Like, you above and beyond, but you so worried about what everybody else, it's hindering you. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and get into today's topic. All right, so the first one, and I feel like I'm glad that this was the number one for it. What's right for you won't be right for everybody else. You know, whether that's work, whether that's a relationship, whether that's school, whether that's a, you know, an idea, like what's right for you is not right for everybody else. And I bring that up because I remember when I joined the military, everybody was a subject matter expert of talking me out of it. They told me I was going to get blown up. They said that I was going to get PTSD. They said that I was going to just like, every bad thing that they saw on CNN, they thought was going to happen to me. And here it is 11 years later, and I can't find anyone to talk me out of it. Like, talk me out of getting out. You feel me? I can't find anybody. Fast forward, let's switch gears a little bit. I remember when I first said that I was going to start podcasting. I said I was going to start speaking. I remember when I walked into this room and they asked, I forget what it was. It was the JRC. It was for college. And I asked the lady, I was like, you know, hey, you know, I'm trying to be a speaker, blah, blah, blah. What college classes would I want to do? And she said speaker. And I was like, yeah, like a motivational speaker. This bitch laughed at me. I ain't even about to lie to you. She laughed at me. And she was like, I guess you could be like a life coach. When I tell you I felt so disrespected, like not saying that I was disrespected by the fact that she said I could be a life coach. I felt disrespected by her tone. I was like, you know what? I'm dropping back out. Like, I'm good. Like, I knew I didn't want to do college, and you just reaffirmed it. And I bring that up because I spoke on stage with Lisa Nichols. I've spoken at colleges, and I'm a college dropout. I'm an author, and not to toot my own horn. Yeah, I'm tooting my own horn. I'm an author, and I read at a fucking 8th grade reading level. I ain't lying. And I'm still in the Marine Corps. I bring all of that up because God created you with you in mind. He didn't create you with your mama in mind. He didn't create you with your daddy in mind, your family, your friends. He created with you in mind. And your journey is yours. Stop letting people read the message that God gave you. You know what I'm telling you why people can't see your vision? Because it wasn't meant for their eyes. You know what I'm telling you why people ain't passionate about your dreams, your aspirations? Because that fire dwells within you. And you gonna extinguish it, trying to fan it so somebody else can be warm. Sometimes the things that you need to do are only for you. And it ain't gonna be nobody else that's gonna ride with you. Next, focus on who likes you, not who doesn't like you. And, I'm glad, we're talking about that because I'll sit back and I'll give somebody who don't like me space, energy. And when I say space, I'm talking about a space in my mind, energy to fucking come up with thoughts. I'm a petty person. I ain't even about to lie to you. And I know this is a podcast dedicated to helping us become a better version of ourselves, but I have a worse version. And, I've been doing shadow work, and, Shinny just told me that, shadow work is not you becoming your shadows. So, I'm better in myself, but I'm notorious. Like, if I know you don't like me, oh, I'm going to make sure you don't fucking like me. You don't like the way I speak, well, I'm going to make sure you hear me. You don't like the fact that I'm here, well, guess what? I'm about to get comfortable. And honestly, I give people power. If you don't like me, then fuck you. I like me. You feel me? Like, I like me. And I don't know who needs to hear this. Maybe you driving to your job right now to some coworkers that don't like you. Fuck them. You like you. And although they may not like you, there's still people in your life that love you. Even if 10 people don't like you, there's somebody that hasn't even met you. There's somebody that doesn't even say anything to you, but loves you. Even if everybody at your job don't like you, your kids love you. Even if you feel like everybody's against you, there's always somebody that's rooting for you. And if you can't find that person, look in the fucking mirror. Because I can guarantee you that person loves you. And I bring that up, man, because we gonna come into this month. Matter of fact, man, we just spend our lives so worried about who doesn't like us. And I'm starting to realize that we tend to give negative emotions more time than the positives. Like, we take for granted the fact that we have people in our lives that love us, that like us, that tolerate us, that listen to our stories. Them people, you feel me? Them people need to be celebrated. Don't worry about who don't like you. Appreciate the ones that do like you, because the ones that do like you, they let you know. They let you know. Next, even if you're worried about who doesn't like you or who's going to judge you or who's worried about your ideas, understand this. Nobody knows you better than you. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times, and this, do you know how many times somebody comes up to me and they're like, oh, you're so motivational. I wasn't expecting you to be like this in person, or, I was expecting you to act like, and it's like, dog, like, who you see online is me. It is me. Yes, it is me. But that's not me all the time. You know how many times I've came up to people and they've perceived this entire, like, they've created this entire idea about me, but don't even know who I am. People only know the surface level of you. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows your journey. Nobody knows how strong you are. Nobody knows. Only person that knows is you. And I really want to give this space. It ain't your fucking job. It ain't your fucking job to change somebody's perception of you. Okay? Because if you spend all your time trying to change the perception of others, one, it's selfish because that's what they think of you. You need to be worried about what you think of you. You're always going to be upset because you may change fucking player one's perception, but player two thinks you're still this. And you're wasting time and energy. So with that being said, nobody knows you but you. Nobody knows what you're thinking but you. Nobody knows who you are but you. And the only person that you should be worried about making sure that you stay true to is you. Also, focus on the people that you like, not the ones that you don't. You know what I mean? And I feel like I talked about it earlier, but I really want to just hit on this again. Focus on the people that you like. You feel me? Even if it's a room of 15 people and you only like one, you better make that motherfucker your best friend. Even if you don't like nobody at your job and you only have one person at the house that you love, then you love the fuck out of that person. And I want to be raw. I want to be vulgar. I want to be all of these things so that way we don't misconstrue this. Give the people that matter in your life some time. And lastly, if you worried about anything, understand that you probably ain't gonna never see these people a day in your life again. If you in the military, yeah, you might spend, 3 years with these people. And in 3 years, so much is gonna change. In 3 years, you also gotta understand they probably gonna change. You probably gonna change. They probably gonna leave. You probably gonna leave. Hell, you worried about what somebody think of you and they only gonna be around you for 15 minutes. You ain't gonna never see these people again. But you know who you are gonna see every single day? Yourself. Be the best version of yourself, and that version is gonna attract the people that you deserve in your life. All these other people are here today and going more. Now, I was going to cut the episode right then and there, but I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist doing that. You feel me? And I bring that up. I bring that up because I don't know what your New Year's resolution was. But I want to be the first one to tell you that that resolution ain't going to come true unless you do it. Not what somebody else does. It ain't nobody else's job to heal you. Ain't nobody else's job to bring you happiness. You have to be able to do that. The love that you desperately desire is the love that's got to come from within first. And I say this because there was a moment where I forgot who I was. Let me rephrase that. There was a moment where I stopped generating love for myself because I was receiving so much from everyone else. It was like the steroid feeling almost. You know, when you start taking something that's artificial, your body stops naturally producing it. And the moment that I stopped receiving it, I went into withdrawals, no pun intended. And it took me so long to realize that what everybody else was loving, it was because I created that. They didn't. You got to be able to tell yourself that you're beautiful. You got to be able to pep talk yourself. You got to be able to cheer yourself up. And if you're so worried about getting that from somebody else, you need to ask yourself, why can't I generate it? You were made for so much. Continue. Also, buy yourself some fucking flowers. And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay tuned Mondays and Fridays. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Meech Speaks. Once again, that's Meech Speaks. Meech is spelled MEECH. Don't forget to share this podcast, subscribe to this podcast, follow this podcast, pass this podcast to somebody, because this podcast was dedicated to helping everyone become a better version of themselves. Even though I don't know what that type of version is, I just know that you can be better. Lastly, don't forget to grab your copy of The Extraordinary Thought from the Ordinary Mind, available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. I think there's an electrical copy. You know what it is. Stay hungry, stay motivated. I'm out.